My name's Dr. Vanessa Lapointe. I'm a psychologist, parenting educator, and a mom to 2 growing children. Parents and teachers and other big people who are caring for and growing up children often become very concerned when they see a child present with separation anxiety. And yet, separation anxiety is a very natural, very normal human reaction, especially for the growing child. We are actually meant to resist the influence, to resist the approach of people to whom we are not well attached. Our children are actually born with an instinct already engaged to not become part of an interaction with somebody that they don't know very well. And if you think about this logically, it makes a lot of sense. Do you want your children to be doing the bidding of somebody to whom they are not well attached? Do you want your children to do the bidding of a stranger? You see, you want your children to actually resist the influence of people that don't know them very well, or that the child doesn't know very well, because it's something that allows them to stay safe and to stay protected. When we try to override that, then the child can become very alarmed by our efforts to sort of wipe out of them this real natural instinct. What we need to do instead is make a lot of room and a lot of space for separation anxiety to exist in our children, and to find ways to soften the intensity of the disconnections that our kids might be experiencing with us that are leading them to feel anxious in the first place. When we work to soften the intensity of the disconnection that the children are feeling from us, we actually can flow in alongside separation anxiety in a really capable and competent way. And there's several ways that you can do this. The first is, if you are transitioning your child into an environment outside of your home, it might be a daycare kind of environment, it might be a school classroom kind of environment, and you happen to know that your child is going to struggle with being away from you, going to struggle with the newness of that kind of environment, or just generally has challenges with transitions, you can engage in what's called a gradual entry kind of transition or program. And this is where you very slowly, over days, and for some children even weeks, transition them into that new environment, while at the same time they have opportunities to develop healthy, nurturing relationships with the adults that will be caring for them and in charge of them in those environments. As you allow those relationships to develop, what you will see is that your child's natural instinct to resist resting into the care of those adults starts to fade away, and the separation anxiety simultaneously will also fade away. Another thing that you can think about is finding ways to stay connected with your child even when you're not with them. And so you can travel with your child. You can send, maybe it's a scarf of yours that you send to school with them. Maybe it's a photo of you. Maybe it's magic kisses that you've planted on their hands that won't ever wash off, so they can just touch their hand to their cheek and feel their presence right there with you right in that moment. There's a lot of ways that you can be with your child even if you're not with your child. Something else to think about is that you can actually coach the other adults in your child's life along these same lines. And so, for example, if a child's at daycare or in a kindergarten or early elementary school classroom, you can find ways as a teacher to welcome the parent's presence into your classroom. Maybe you have a family wall, and on the family wall you post a photo of that child with their family or with their parents. Maybe while the child is working on a piece of artwork, you can say, "Oh, you know what we should do? Let's make this for mommy, or let's make this for daddy," and we can give it to them at the end of the day when they come to pick you up. And that leads us to the final thing that you can keep in mind if you have a child who's struggling with separation anxiety, which is to focus on hellos rather than to focus on goodbyes. And the hellos are all about softening goodbyes and having the child project in their mind to the next point of connection. It's like lily pads of connection, and you just want to keep them jumping to the next point and the next point and the next point. And so instead of just saying goodbye to our children and dropping them off, we say, "Oh, have a lovely day, and I'll see you after lunch," or "I'll see you after nap time," or "I'll see you at the end of the school day. I can't wait to pick you up today. We're going for ice cream," or "I can't wait to pick you up. We're going to go home and jump on the trampoline." Whatever it is that you just create in the child the next hello and have them land on that lily pad rather than sitting in the sadness of the goodbye.